For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Milena Galasso. How's it going today, Milena?
Hi, it's going well. How are you, Tom?
Doing well. I got the name out. I'm happy with myself, so now we can just keep going. And
that's amazing.
Hopefully, I won't fumble anything else tonight or today, I guess. But it's really interesting how we kind of met. Usually when people just randomly message me on Instagram, I don't always answer because it gets tossed over into the other folder or requests or whatever that third folder is there on the right on Instagram. And for whatever reason, I just happened to see yours.
Oh, that's lucky. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. Excited to have you on. Excited to get to know more about you. You're getting ready to release your first single, your first project ever as a musician. Really excited to chat with you about that and kind of what it was like going through that whole process. But before we kind of get there, kind of take a minute to introduce yourself and let everybody that's watching and listening on the podcast, let them know who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, of course. Should I say something about myself then?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Milena Galasso. I am a London-based singer-songwriter. Just about to release my first single ever. There's loads more to come. And I'm so excited because I've been working on this for ages now. And I just can't wait to get my first song out there. So I originally come from Italy. So I moved to London 2 years ago to do a master's in popular music at BIM. And that's where I've met all the people that I collaborate with right now. So my producer, my songwriter, because I collaborate with songwriters as well when I write my lyrics in English. And a big shout out to them as well, to Alex Rigero, Phil Boothroyd, and all my friends from BIM. That's me. My first single is going to be released this Friday, and it's called Summer Storm.
Awesome. So before we kind of get into Summer Storm and talking about that, because I've had a chance to listen to it, and I guess I was watching the music video as well, because that's what you sent me when we first started chatting. It's all amazing, and I can't wait for people to see it. But before we get there, I want to talk and get to know you a little bit more. So you're originally from Italy, and then you said you moved to London about 2 years ago.
Yes.
Who introduced you to music? Who got you into the idea of playing music?
So my family has always pushed me to study music ever since I was 5. My brother was a bit older than me. He was taking piano lessons, and I followed because I was very curious. So I wanted to play a bit of piano, and then I think I started having some basic piano lessons when I was 5 because of that. And then I think I moved to cello as well because my mom wanted us to play some classical instrument. My brother was playing the violin when he was 7. And then I think I was 8 when I started playing the cello. I liked it, but it wasn't really my thing. I don't know. I started to sing. I've always loved watching kids shows. There's a big one in Italy called the Zecchino d'Oro, which is kind of a contest for kids where they can sing songs with a picture. And I love that, and I've always wanted to sing. So they got me a little karaoke kind of microphone where I started. And I think the very first song I remember wanting to sing, and that really got me into singing, was Hear This Out. It's My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Mm-hmm. which is a crazy difficult song, and it really was at the time, but I really, really wanted to sing it. And it's the reason why I always wanted to get better at singing, because it's not, it's really not an easy song. And so
Hmm.
Celine was like kind of my inspiration back then until I started to listen to the music that I liked when I was a teenager, and I was like falling for like pretty boys like Justin Bieber, One Direction, and all of that stuff. Yeah, big fun there. Um, and yeah, I've always like wanted to break free through music and in English because I was very, very shy,
Hmm.
and I didn't want my parents to listen to what I was singing, to be honest. So singing in English was kind of like me hiding from them
Hmm.
my feelings, and also got me into learning English from a
Okay.
very, and yeah,
Okay. So did you learn English through music or did you learn English because of music?
I think both.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember singing when I was 10. Like, me and my classmates were like, made up a little like contest at
Mm.
school where like I think it was my idea and I wanted to win, but I wasn't the judge, of course, but my friends were. Um, so we made up like a little contest where like everyone could sing songs, and I remember singing, I think, "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
another one. And then I really like starting like reading the lyrics and saying some stuff that a 10-year-old will like never probably say. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say it, but Katy Perry kind of lyrics. So yeah, I got
Mm.
curious, and just because I wanted to understand what these artists were really saying through music, I kind of like did my research, and then
Mm.
wanted to get better faster.
Gotcha. So early on during like when you're in grade school, or I guess for you it would be like primary school, right? Or
Yes, that's
um,
primary school, yeah.
yeah. You were you mainly singing like cover songs, or were you at this point also starting to look at writing your own music?
I remember like trying to write my very first song about like I think we were still living in our first house. I was like maybe 6 or 7, and it was
Hmm.
like a song about an airplane. It was in Italian at that time,
Yeah.
like flying through the sky. But it was mainly like singing cover songs and English songs, especially. I did move on to Italian songs at some point, but that was
Mhm.
kind of like when I started studying and when like my teachers pushed me to sing in Italian as well, which I loved because I appreciated loads of like songwriters from the 60s when I was like 15 and 17. And yeah, I got to learn a lot from them as well.
Awesome, awesome. And so, kind of moving, were your parents like? I mean, obviously, you mentioned that your parents enticed you to study music,
Yeah.
but was that more for? Did they actually want you to become a musician, or did they just want you to learn music and become a teacher or something?
Yeah, so that's the tricky part because I
Okay.
think they need to do it like for fun, like
Mm.
so it got me to do piano lessons as well. I think I wanted to study guitar as well, so I started like self teaching myself. Really, I've always wanted to be like an artist,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they got that. Because like when I started to taking singing lessons, at some point they were like, "Oh, maybe you should stop now because like you know how to sing now." And I was like, "No, mom, I really want to do this. Like I really, really want to do this." Um, and they've been supportive, not always, if I'm completely honest. And I think because when I finished high school, I knew that I wanted to do this, but I didn't have the guts to move to London just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you should go to uni, you should do a proper uni, you should study something that, you can get a job later. And I was like, Mom, music is a job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it kind of took me a lot of convincing to eventually, and a lot of like courage as well, to eventually decide to, yes, finish uni and then move to London because that's still what I want to do. And it's always going to be what I want to do.
Gotcha. So what was it about London that kind of drew your attention?
Well, I mean, I've always loved London. Like, I feel like London is such a big city, and like all the opportunities are here, and the music industry is here. And I did consider like moving to the US as well, but that was kind of like a bigger jump as well. And I love it, London. Like, I'm kind of like blending in the culture a little bit, having my tea at the minute with some just an Earl Grey with some oat milk that I, didn't used to drink
Yeah.
before. Yeah, like, and also I think is about the music because like I love artists such as Ed Sheeran and Adele, Holly Humberstone, all of them like are like UK, London based.
Mm-hmm.
I guess One Direction at the time as well. Now it's more like Harry Styles. I just like, yeah, I like British music a lot.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of really good British music, and especially if you're open to going to some of the smaller shows and going out to independent, like the
Yeah,
more independent stuff. There's just so many talented musicians that I've met that are from the UK or live in the UK or, however you want to describe it. It's just an amazing scene that's ever growing out there. Um,
and
as you were good.
yeah, no, I mean, I was just gonna say that it always like fascinated me how like people were telling me that you could live off music here just
Yeah.
by gigging and even playing in the streets. And I was like, that's not possible in Italy. Like, I'm gonna move to London 100%. I'm gonna do this. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So as you were kind of going through the creative process of trying to figure out who you wanted to be as a musician, whether you wanted to be a country musician, pop musician, like whatever it was, who are, obviously you've listed off a few musicians that you were listening to early on, but as you were going through the process of trying to find yourself, find your voice musically,
Yeah,
who were some of the influences you were listening to?
yeah, that's a good question. So I like to say, my music is like kind of heavily inspired by One Republic. I
Hmm.
just love them, and I think Teddy Ryan just like an amazing songwriter. He's written so many beautiful songs like Halo for Beyonce. He's just like so talented. And I actually got the chance to see them live earlier on this year in April in London,
Nice.
which was amazing. So I love like obviously like they're a full band and I'm not a full band, but when like we produce music together with my producer Alex, we kind of like looked at their work. So I like, songs that starts very low and then go really high, and then they have a bridge that goes low again, and then heavy drums and drum kicks and guitars, all that kind of like alternative pop, I would say,
Mm.
which is very commercial and very just like memorable, very catchy because they write super catchy songs, but also it's got a bit of a um, strength kind of
Mm.
element
Yeah,
behind. And then if I look at the Italian music scene, I love Elisa. I don't know if you know her.
not
They,
familiar with her.
she's a really good songwriter from Italy. She's actually from my region, Friuli
Mm.
Venezia. And I think she moved to the US when she was really young. So her first albums from the 90s or early 2000s are in
Mm.
English. And then she moved on to write songs in Italian as well. I just love the way she sings. She's just so elegant and nice. I like her storytelling as well. I could name a few more. I could name Dua Lipa. I could
Mm.
name Tate McRae nowadays, especially for the new songs I'm writing, which are a bit more like cheeky, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. That's awesome. Um, so if my math is correct, did you move to London like during the pandemic, or was it right before the pandemic hit?
I think it was like uh, so I moved to London. Actually, I actually moved to London in March 2020.
Okay,
So
like
yeah, that was for an internship I was doing. Then I kind of like I moved back to Italy, and then I moved to London to do my master's here in October 2020. So yeah, it was not a great time, but it was the best time for me to do it because it was like then or never.
Yeah.
Um, so London was so weird. Remember being super excited about
Hmm.
being there, and it felt huge and lonely and exciting at the same time. Um, yeah, I met my school friends, and we still like hanged out and worked on music, even though like hard like do anything really. So for the first year, I feel like I haven't really lived London much, but
Hmm.
now I'm finally living it, and it's amazing.
Nice. That's awesome. That it's unfortunate that you moved there right as everything was starting to happen as far as the But then again, I feel like maybe in London it was happening a little bit before before
Uh,
March
you mean
or
before money?
yeah.
So, I'm not sure. 'Cause I remember I was here on the 1st of March,
Hmm.
2020, and nobody was like scared of
Yeah.
COVID just yet.
Yeah.
Whereas in Italy, it was like huge. Everyone was locked inside,
Hmm.
and I was still going out, like partying. And it was
Yeah.
great. And all of a sudden, they locked everything. I kind of like ran away
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be lonely in my super tiny room in London. It was not what I came here for.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but then
Gotcha.
I think the restrictions have never been that strong here as they were like in Italy, for example. So it was a little bit more easy to breathe.
Yeah, for sure. Gotcha. Um, so you moved back to Italy after everything kind of happened, and then you came back to London in October 2020.
Yeah,
That was to start studying music.
yeah,
Okay. And are you still going to school? Are you still getting your master's, or have you
I,
graduated? And
I've graduated.
okay,
I got my degree I finished like a year ago, and then we had our graduation party in March 2020, so recently.
awesome. That's really cool. Congratulations on getting your master's. That's one thing I always kind of wish I would have done was gone back and got my master's, but
What
I
would
did.
you
What
study?
was it?
What
What's
would
that?
you have? Well, a master in what?
Oh, it would have been in film production. Uh, y-
Amazing.
yeah, it would have been, but now I'm just kind of at the point where I don't see the point in going back to get my master's anymore. So
I get it if like you're like far ahead in your career and everything, but I think also it's never too late to do
hmm
anything. You could
very
always.
fair. Yeah. Um, So now that you've graduated, you've started releasing your own you're in the process of releasing your own music. You got a new single dropping Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah, Friday.
right.
Um, how long has this kind of been in the works? I'm assuming this has kind of always been the end goal for you, but how long has all this been in the works for you?
Yes. So Summer Storm has actually been ready, I think, for a year now. It's been mastered fully of in April, I think, but it was like ready before, and so are some of my songs already. So it kind of like yeah, they've been like I kind of like put them on hold for a little bit because life got in the way, and I wanted to like have like a solid plan or at least some sort of a plan before like putting a song out there just like that. And I'm happy now because I'm working on some new songs, um, and they are really really cool. And I can't finish producing them and releasing them. But before I do that, I need to put Summerstorm out first, which means a lot to me. And then there's gonna be more, so I'm so excited. But yeah,
All right.
it's been a long process. I'm not gonna lie. plus I was really new to production, especially fairly new to songwriting in English as well.
Mm.
So it really like it was like a learning curve for me,
Mm.
and going to uni helped a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So what's like the big difference between writing music in Italian versus English? Is there a big difference? Because you kind of mentioned that there was. So
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but like when I write in Italian, I feel incredibly vulnerable. Like I feel like it's just so hard to express myself
mm,
sometimes. Because I've written songs in Italian before, and I I like them, but I was like also like, no, I'm never gonna release this one. You know, writing in English just feels so. Even though like there's a tiny language barrier, right?
mm,
It
mm,
just feels so much freer. It just feels like so much easier and fresh, and like it allows me to connect with more people, and the process of writing itself, I think it's different. Like, yeah, it's kind of like you don't need as many words.
mm.
I mean, and you can kind of sometimes make up a meaning. I don't know. What I find hard and what Phil is really good at helping me with is
Mm.
sometimes there are like some sayings or that we do have in Italian and that I'm trying to express in English, but
Hmm.
you only know them like if you were basically born here, like if you lived here like for a long time. What I mean?
Mm. Yeah. Got so a lot of like I don't want to like local terms or
Yeah,
local slang. Yeah.
yeah. And
Gotcha.
sayings.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting because, I that was something I was thinking about a couple of weeks ago because I was listening to a couple of songs in Spanish.
Uh huh.
They were speaking Spanish, and for whatever reason, my brain started just thinking about how this song would transfer if they were to just start singing it in English, if it would still make the same sense or if it would still sound the same.
Yeah.
Because I've heard some songs, like there was a song that I used to listen to when I was a young kid that was in German, and once like the internet came out and was like a big thing, I found an English version of it, and the song wasn't the same. It was
Yeah.
just so.
I know. You understand Spanish or German?
No, not at all. I just just sometimes I listen. I have a lot of Hispanic friends, and so when they like good music is good music, and even though if I don't understand what they're saying, if it's a catchy tune,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, Spanish is such a musical language, and
Mm,
well, like if I were to translate my songs in Italian, it wouldn't make any sense.
yeah. Yeah. See, that's always the concern because then you got to like go back and rewrite it for English, and that was always the interesting thing when bands would try and play their songs in different languages. It's like I don't know if it's going to translate well, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, um, so Summer Storm's coming out on Friday. What's kind of the story behind this song?
Oh my God. Um, so it's kind of like it's a love story, okay? But
Mm,
it's not one of those like super romantic or like, oh my God, you broke up with me kind of song. It's like there was like this guy that I met one summer, and he kind of like was such a, he was like a lightning in a summer sky. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like it was something like unexpected, and it kind of like changed me. And I thought it was like something really special, but the truth is like it probably wasn't. And even so, like the whole story like just made me realize so many things about myself,
Mm,
like kind of like pushed me to you know to achieve my dreams as
mm-hmm.
well. it was really weird. It was like, so the meaning behind it is like, I love summer. Let's start from there. I really,
Yeah.
really love summer. Sometimes there are storms during summer, which is something that just doesn't really go along, because like
Mm.
summer for me is like the sun and going to the beach. It can't rain. It just can't rain
Yeah.
on summer, but it does sometimes, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like some fresh air coming into your life. And I think I got the idea whilst I was cycling back home one day or one night, and it started raining on me super heavily, because I love cycling and I cycle everywhere, even in London. And just, it was so sunny and it started raining so heavily. And I was like, oh my God, can it get any worse? But I was enjoying the rain. Like, I was so wet
Yeah.
that I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
It, yeah, it's like, it's raining super hard in my life, but I love it because I can move on, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Um, so for Summer Storm, you'd mentioned that it's been kind of in the process, or it's been recorded for about a year at this point.
Yeah.
Did you always know this was going to be like the first song you wanted to release, or did you have something else that was kind of, oh, hey, this could be the first song?
Um, I guess I kind of knew this was going to be the first one. Like, I had, and I have other songs that
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to release before this one, but it just makes so much sense that this is the first one, that for this song to be the first one, because it took me so long
Yeah.
to work it, that like letting it out there is just gonna,
Yeah.
it's a lot to me. It's like I put so much effort into it, and now it's time to let it go, and it's gonna get easier from here.
Yeah. For sure. You really swung for the fences on this one with like the releasing a music video with your first
Yeah.
single ever, and um, let's talk about the music video a little bit. Was that also something that you knew right off the bat that you wanted to do, or was it just kind of a, oh hey, we have this opportunity to make the music video?
No, I kind of pushed to make a music video. Like, I really, really wanted a music video for this
Mm,
song. I don't know why. And also, like, the concept that I had was quite tricky, because every like video maker I turned to, I was
mm,
like, hey, I got this song. It's called Summer Storm, and I want to make a music video out of it, and it's gonna have to rain. And they were
mm,
like, it can't rain. Like, what do you mean? It's gonna have to rain. Do you have a huge budget? No, I didn't have a huge budget.
mm,
Um, we kind of like, the music video is gonna be released only after, like, a week after the song is
mm,
out. But let's just say that um, I spoke to a friend of mine. He's actually a friend of mine I went to uni with,
mm,
which means that like going to uni sometimes is really good, even if it's not exactly what you want to do. Because I study
yeah.
like multimedia and stuff, and he's a
Mm,
really video maker. He lives in Italy, and he's super friendly. He's been super nice and super helpful, and he's so talented as well. And I talked to him and I told him a little bit about my idea, and he's crazy enough. He was crazy enough to say,
mm,
okay, fine, let's make this happen. Like, I'm gonna buy some stuff that um, prevent my camera to like get wet, so we can
mm,
record underwater, and we're gonna fake the rain. And the funny thing is, that day, because there is some rain at the beginning of the video,
mm,
that day it was actually going to rain, but the real rain just doesn't look well on camera, because you need the
mm,
light
yeah.
to fake the rain. And so it was hilarious how like we did that. I was just sat on a couch, and he was recording, and his friends and my boyfriend, they were like outside in the
Mm,
wind, and it was just super bad weather, and they're like holding these lights, and like the pump, like the water pump
mm,
on the window,
yeah.
and like feeling so bad for them. But you know, in the end we got a good result, and like this is just one of the funny things about the video
Yeah.
anyway. But
I
yeah,
I
really
was
music video.
Yeah, I was watching the video this morning before we jumped on here again, and I was just kind of picking up like the keynotes about how like some of the stuff that you were able to pull off in the music video is a to have the idea to want to do it was really ambitious because I've turned down a lot of production work that wanted similar stuff just because I didn't want to deal with what I knew was going to happen to make the stuff work. And very similar stuff, anyways. But no, it's really awesome that you were able to pull it off and make it work. It's an amazing music video. It's an amazing song. And I hope you have something ready to come up right after it because I know people are going to want it. So
Oh yes, I do. I do definitely. Thank you.
awesome. Yeah. So Summer Storm comes out the 9th, which is Friday. What's as you're kind of approaching the last few days here before it releases, what's going through your mind?
Uh, a lot of things. I'm so excited, honestly. I just want people to pre-save the song, to
Hmm.
listen to the song, like it, because I hope they're gonna like it. I know, like most, my friends are gonna like it at least. And I don't know. I just want as many people to get a chance to listen to it, and like obviously, like I'm just starting to build a fan base. So I'm really, really
Yeah.
curious to see who's gonna like it, who's not gonna like it, and like, my target, and if I hit the target that I want. And yeah, no, I'm just like super excited, and yeah, I can't wait.
Awesome. Awesome.
Um,
What's kind of the plan leading up? Are you gonna do like a show, or what's kind of the plan for the release day? Do you have anything special planned for it?
if I am honest, I'm working on that. So
Fair enough.
yeah, I don't have anything huge planned for the release day. I am gonna release an Instagram filter as
Hmm.
well with the
Yes.
song, but yeah, no, not much. And then from there, like, yes, I want to, if that's the question, I want to start gigging live.
Mm.
So I'm preparing myself for that as well. I just want to see if it's possible, how many people will turn up to my show and
Hmm.
stuff like that, and just like yeah, I want to go from there, like releasing my second song and my third song and keep finishing the songs that I'm working on. Just like keep doing this.
Hmm. Gotcha. That's awesome. That's really cool. And the plan, are you planning on staying in London for a while, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love traveling. I love traveling, like,
mm,
but I feel like London is the place to be right now for a while. Then we'll see.
awesome. That's really cool. That's really cool. And then as far as moving forward with your music, you said obviously you've said several times that you have more coming. You have your second single and all that stuff. Is the plan to stay doing singles, or do you see yourself eventually releasing an album, or what?
I am working on an album at the minute, so I'm definitely going to release two more singles. And the songs that I'm working on right now, I'm going to decide whether to like drop them as an EP or
Hmm.
an album even. Or but I am still going to release some singles from the album or the EP.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I feel like albums nowadays, not as many people listen to them unless like you're styles, and of course I'm gonna
Mm.
listen to your album from top to bottom.
Yeah.
But if I release like a 20 tracks album, I'm not sure how many people will like go through all of 20 of the tracks. I prefer dropping
Yeah.
single.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely been a change in the culture as far as like music goes and releasing music and how musicians release music. What's the most effective way? And singles is definitely the way a lot of musicians are going because it's about Spotify, it's about streaming, it's about all that stuff and getting their music out there. But there's also there's I think there's still an argument for the full length albums or the EPs or whatever you want to call it. And for me, it just kind of depends on what kind of musician you want to be. If you want to be a touring musician that is out there playing, then there's definitely an argument for the
Yeah,
albums. But if you're just, you know, releasing, if you're just more focused on releasing music, then singles is the way to go because you're primarily relying on Spotify and your social media. And we all know the algorithm is get more stuff out there, the better off you are. So,
Yeah, definitely, I agree on that. And I would love to tour one day, but I feel like that's the next step, you know?
nice.
So yeah.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
would-
A-
Mhm.
As as you're kind of coming up here to the release, do you have any concerns going on right now? Is there anything that's worrying you or
I don't know. I'm just, no, I don't, no, there's no space for worry.
okay.
Not, you know, I mean, obviously, like, yeah, I am worried that, like, maybe not as many people are gonna listen to it or, like, they're not gonna like it or whatever. But, like, at the same time, like, who cares, you
Mm-hmm.
know? It's like, if you never try, you will never know. And there's really, like, not enough time and space for, like, just doubt yourself and worry at this stage,
Yeah.
you know? So I try to focus on that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, so kind of outside of music, obviously you've mentioned you've worked, you just graduated school. What do you do to kind of escape? What are some of your hobbies? What do you do outside of music?
Yeah. Well, I teach music. I teach singing and basic piano. I work for events, like I do different kind of jobs, but I love going to the gym. It's like just something that I love to do, like
Mm.
on a basis. I love doing yoga. It just relaxes me so much.
Mm.
And I recently rediscovered a passion for reading because I
Oh,
read good books recently whilst I was working at a job, but I was reading as well because I had time to read. Um, and yeah, I like watching Netflix, like
yeah.
when I'm having lunch by myself, for example,
Mm.
writing songs, and I'm trying to get better at cooking as well because I'm terribly awful at that. But it's something that you've got to do, you've got to learn.
Mm.
But mostly gym and movies and yoga.
Nice. What's a good movie you've seen recently?
Um, Let me think. It's a bit of an old one, but I
Mm.
loved Away with
What was?
Away with Tom Hanks.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
It's you. It's just and it like it really makes you think a lot.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it really does. I like movies like that. Um, yeah.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So I don't want to keep you too much longer here, but before we go, there's a fun game that we play with everyone that comes on the podcast. It's called Rapid Fire Randomness, and I have a random question generator, and I'm going to just ask you a couple of random questions from the random question generator.
Oh my God, I'm so scared.
Don't be, don't be. All right. So if you're ready, we've got Rapid Fire Randomness.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Would you rather be alone for the rest of your life or always be surrounded by annoying people?
Alone, definitely.
Okay. When do you feel the most free?
When I sing,
Okay. Throughout your life, how many different cars have you owned?
one, and I crushed it really bad, but I didn't,
Oh,
so it's fine.
catch. Um, I kind of feel like I know the answer to this question, but what do you want to be the very best at?
Singing.
If you're out on a Friday night, what is your drink of choice?
Gin and tonic.
Okay. What brings out your positivity?
Huh. How do you answer to this question? Don't know. What? Like, this is such a weird question. What do you
It's
mean? Uh, what bring,
well, let me rephrase it. I don't even know how to rephrase it because let me go back.
what makes you feel good?
Yeah, there
Maybe.
you go. There you go. Let's go with that one.
Uh, the sun and music and seeing my friends happy and having a good chat that is not just a small talk, but like a good chat about proper things in life. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
If you had to guess, how many tweets have been made in Twitter's entire existence?
Oh my God, 100 billions?
Fair, very
And
fair.
I probably tweeted like a billion myself when I was a kid.
And then we'll end it on this one. What is your most embarrassing story?
I don't know. Um, I I don't know. I feel like I've got a few, but I can't think of one on the top of my head. Um,
If you
oh,
want to pass, we can go to the next. We can
yeah,
do one last one. What is something you are absolutely addicted to?
addicted.
Yeah,
Coffee.
fair. Very fair. So that was rapid fire randomness. It was
Woo.
very rapid, very random. We did a lot more questions than I wanted to, but they were just such quick, easy questions. It was
Yeah,
like we can do a few more. So
I- thank
uh,
you.
yeah, for sure. It's been an absolute blast chatting with you. If anybody wants to check out Summer Storm, wants to interact with you on socials, any of that fun stuff, where's the best place for them to get that
Uh,
information?
Follow me on Instagram, and I will reply to all of your messages, and we can go from there. Because I've got all my links on there, and yeah. But you can find me
Awesome.
on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere. But Instagram is always the best.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate you all taking your time to sit with us this Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon for you, Milena. And
Oh,
once again, thank you everybody for supporting Live and Amplified. If you are new to our Twitch stream, make sure you give us a follow. We are really trying to build this community, but Live and Amplified in general. If you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that fun stuff, you can find all that information on our website, liveandamplified.net. That's our website. Feel free to check it out. We got some cool stuff on there. But
amazing.
until next time, we will see you, Tuesday at 9 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Milena, thank you so much. Really appreciate you for hanging in there. And
Thank
we
you.
will see you all later.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Have a good morning or evening, whatever.